in the headlines, Prime Minister Andrew Holness to meet with NRSC to review new Road Traffic Act. In business news, gas prices are down. Regionally, Barbados-based Caribbean Drought and Precipitation Agency warns a short-term drought may hit several parts of the region soon. And in sports, Zimbabwe defy West Indies to eke out a draw in a first test. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The National Road Safety Council should be meeting with Prime Minister Andrew Holness today, February 9, to discuss issues in relation to the new Road Traffic Act. Carla Thomas Hewitt tells us more.
To strengthen the implementation of the new Road Traffic Act, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has directed the National Road Safety Council to undertake weekly reviews and provide reports on the enforcement and effectiveness of the measures, as well as any concerns expressed by the public. There have been public concerns about several aspects of the legislation, some of which were addressed by Transport Minister Audley Shaw at the weekly meeting of the Lower House on Tuesday.
In response to the foregoing, a regulation is to be inserted, making reference to the type of child restraint required for the conveyance of children based on age and size in different types of vehicles.
Although he welcomed the reversal of the child's seatbelt restrictions, President of the National Council of Taxi Associations, Alan Blair, says there are a number of outstanding issues which are of major concern to the transport operators. Among the concerns are the lack of designated pick-up and drop-off spots, especially in rural areas. He says calls for the municipal corporation to put in markings for designated stop areas have gone unanswered. The high cost of penalties are also an issue.
Under the updated requirements, in the case of licensed public passenger cars or buses, children under 1 year old must be restrained by an adult. 1 to 3 years old may travel with no restraint or be restrained by an adult. 3 to 6 years old may travel without restraint, restrained by an adult or a lap belt. 6 to 9 years old may travel without restraint or with a lap belt. Children over 9 years old may travel without restraint with a lap belt or a 3-point seat belt. Only children who are of the weight and size to use an adult seat belt are permitted to travel in the front passenger seat.
According to the NCOTA head, a letter was delivered to Jamaica House on Monday asking for a meeting with Prime Minister Andrew Holness to discuss some of the issues brought forward by its members. Some taxi operators have been withholding their service this week in protest against some of these concerns. However, Mr. Blair cited the amendment to the child seat issue as an indication that the operators' voice are being heard without the need for further protest. For the news on PBCJ, I am Carla Thomas Hewitt.
64-year-old Shirley Nugent of Hamilton Mountain near Rakabessa and George Sims, an 83-year-old resident of Haywood Hall, Port Maria, are enjoying their new home courtesy of the government's Indigent housing program. The houses were built at a cost of $9.5 million. We have more in this report. These self-contained units have a full bathroom suite, countertops and cupboards for the kitchen, and a living sleeping area. The units are to be fitted with water tanks. Speaking at the official handover ceremony, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Desmond McKenzie, said the total investment in social housing in the parish so far stands at $27.5 million.
We will, in the new financial year, allocate another 4 units to the St. Mary Municipal Corporation to continue the program.
Minister Mackenzie says the resumption of the repair component of the Housing Assistance Program is to be announced shortly.
I will, Mayor, when I speak in the sectorial debate after the budget, announce the resumption of the program to provide the housing assistance for the repairs. And that announcement will also see us improving on the amount that was allocated previously before.
Mayor of Port Maria, Councillor Richard Query, says 4 units have been approved so far under the Indigent Housing Program for residents in the parish.
This program has taken new light, where we see quality houses made of block and steel. And if you look, the one last week when I looked at it, you could see the construction and the finishes were very well done. And so too with this one. So
the Indigent Housing Program is designed to address the challenges of substandard housing and respond to the needs of citizens for proper shelter. Applicants for the program are screened through the Poor Relief Department in each municipality. It is anticipated that 2,400 students will be enrolled in Jamaica's first Science, Technology, Engineering, the Arts and Mathematics Academy, that's STEAM Academy, when it's completed. National Mathematics Coordinator in the Ministry of Education and Youth, Dr. Tamika Benjamin, made the disclosure in her address at the 64th meeting of the presiding officers of the Regional Conference on Women in Latin America and the Caribbean. She represented Portfolio Minister Favour Williams as a panelist in the virtual conference. Maya Chung has more.
Dr. Benjamin said the establishment of the academy is part of efforts to increase the number of students participating in these disciplines to increase the level of innovation and critical thinking required for current and new careers in the digital age. She noted that this project to develop Jamaica's first STEAM Academy is central to the continuing transformation of the education system to make it, quote, fit for purpose for the 21st century society, end quote. Among the general objectives of the STEAM School project are increasing student access to quality secondary school places, improving systems and capacity to successfully implement STEAM programs, improving the management of school plans, human and capital resources, improving ICT infrastructure and access for educators, students and related stakeholders, and improving school efficiency and administration by establishing a suitable school management framework. The education system is therefore indispensable in developing a STEM learning culture. Educational institutions must lay the groundwork for the effective integration of STEAM as the nation moves to provide opportunities for the professional development of its citizens and increase productivity, Dr. Benjamin said. Land has been marked for the construction of the STEAM Academy in Dumbeholden in St. Catherine. A Jamaica 60 legacy project, the institution will be part of the Greater Bernard Lodge development and will be erected on the 22 acres of land reserved for social services. For the news on PBCJ, I am Maya Chung.
As the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, HFJ, continues to spread the word about the significance of a healthy heart for all Jamaicans as part of the activities planned by the Organization for Global Heart Month, the foundation will be carrying out screening clinics today, February 9, at Lawrence Tavern Health Center, Stony Hill Health Center, and the Maxfield Park Health Center. The observation of the month and various activities planned are being held under the theme, Do Your Part, Check Your Heart. The foundation launched its program for Heart Month on January 31 in Kingston, Jamaica. Speaking at the launch, Executive Director of the foundation, Deborah Chen, said heart disease is the #1 cause of death for Jamaicans. Risk factors that can clue persons into their propensity to develop heart disease are developing high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity, among other things. Chairperson of the HFJ, Dr. Andreen Chung, indicated that the foundation is pushing a message of proactivity in heart health and is trying to stay away from making the topic seem erroneous or burdensome. At the launch, Dr. Chung informed that all Jamaicans should start checking for hypertension indicators by age 20.
For blood sugar and for diabetes, you would start checking at about age 45, unless, of course, you have symptoms or signs beforehand or something else to indicate that you should check for before. And if your figures are normal, you check maybe every 3 years. If it's abnormal, if you're starting to show signs of sugar, then obviously your healthcare practitioner would advise screening more frequently. Body weight should be checked at every healthcare visit to make sure that you're maintaining a healthy weight, not getting overweight, not getting obese, which brings its own consequences. You want to, at every healthcare visit, there should be a discussion about smoking, physical activity, and diet. That's what screening means. And all of those things can be done in a package at the Heart Foundation of Jamaica or at your general practitioner's office. So it is for us to take responsibility for our own health, to make sure that we go and ask, I want to be screened. I want to know what my blood pressure is, because this, after all, is what's going to protect you in the future and reduce your risk for heart disease and help to preserve the health of our nation.
Time now for the business report with Denita Rodney.
Motorists will pay less for gas when they go to the pumps, as state-owned oil refinery PBCJam says E1087 and E1090 will go down by 25 cents to sell for $167.41 and $171.38 respectively. Down by $4.50 per liter, automotive diesel oil will sell for $205.84. Ultra-low sulfur diesel will sell for $216.51 and kerosene for $214.29. In the meantime, propane cooking gas down by 25 cents will sell for $70.86, while butane up by 99 cents will sell for $76.94 per liter. Remember, retailers will add their markups to the announced prices. Link says it is making access to its digital wallet even easier with a new sign-up experience that offers tier accounts to match the needs of customers. With the new feature, all new users will be automatically enrolled in the Tier 1 account, Link Lite, with access to the app's main features before being allowed to level up to Tier 2, Lucky Link, for free and access to full range of Link features. This update is said to be the result of months of listening and developing solutions for persons who do not traditionally have a photo ID or who have had challenges scanning their IDs for one reason or another. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Wednesday, February 8th, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.03. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $115.65. The pound sterling traded for $186.68, and the euro sold for $167.55. In JSE trading, the JSE index advanced by 1,544 points. The junior market index declined by 6 points. The combined market index advanced by 1,375 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index advanced by 3,460 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 100 stocks, of which 42 advanced, 45 declined, and 13 traded firm. Stocks advanced for AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, Barita Investments Limited, and Cargo Handlers Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Verbal Preference, and the Virgin Paints Jamaica Limited. Trading firm were Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited, Consolidated Bakeries Jamaica Limited, and the Derrimon Trading Company Limited. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares with over 3 million units, Tropical Battery Company Limited with over 2 million units, and Future Energy Source Company Limited Ordinary Shares with over 1 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, Calypso Macro Index Fund was the only active security posting a volume of 100 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Goddard Enterprises Limited was the volume leader with over 100,000 shares. They were followed by Cape Shepherd and Company Limited with over 7,000 shares, and Epic Caribbean Property Fund Value Fund, which traded over 1,000 shares. In regional business, while addressing an energy workshop, Barbados' Energy and Business Minister, Senator Lisa Cummins, says challenges accessing supply chains have compounded the operations of businesses in small island developing states. More from Trevor Thorpe.
The Energy and Business Minister said a targeted set of policy actions that support macroeconomic and financial stability are in place as government supports the important energy sector.
Our government is committed also to adapting policies to the fast-changing environments that we are confronted with globally. We are ensuring that we can help our nation to navigate the energy journey, particularly during this challenging period, and to catalyze external financial support and technical resources, including from partners like the Commonwealth Secretariat, who we're very pleased to have with us here today, and to help collaborate to ensure that we can support a successful implementation of our strategy.
She told the workshop that procurement is an issue for local business and it is the same challenge facing the international community.
The energy industry value chain must also be seen as a multiplier that creates profitability and savings from energy, particularly in areas that were unprofitable. The value chain must also be seen as a global economic financial environment that fosters efficient investments, future investments, and the skills to manage those investments, while placing Barbados on a trajectory that equips us to meet our fiscal anchors.
The minister said high fuel costs and inflationary rates have compounded the operations of businesses in small developing states and called on stakeholders to work with government going forward.
I'm challenging all of the manufacturing community, the engineering community, the renewable energy community, and all of you, the local suppliers, to work together with us to ensure that we position Barbados not just as that nation that is producing world-class renewable energy skills, but also that nation that is a forerunner in the development of new innovations in the renewable energy space, in particular to solve the problems of small island developing states navigating the exigencies of climate change.
The local content and capacity building workshop, which started yesterday, is funded by the India-UN Development Partnership and will end tomorrow. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
In market data for oil prices were steady as optimism over recovering Chinese demand was offset by U.S. oil inventories hitting their highest in months. Brent crude futures dipped 12 cents to $84.97 a barrel.
In regional news, the Barbados-based Caribbean Drought and Precipitation Agency is warning that short-term drought could soon develop in Antigua and Barbuda and other parts of the Caribbean. More from ABS TV.
Wednesday, in its latest Caribbean Drought Bulletin, the CDPMN forecast rainfall will continue to decrease as the region moves into the heart of its dry season. It forecasts normal to below normal rainfall in the Caribbean's northwest from February to April this year. Now, CDPMN explains this can, over Cuba in particular, result in short and long-term drought by the end of April and May, respectively. It says, like Cuba, interests in Hispaniola, that's the island shared by the Dominican Republic and Haiti, parts of the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, and St. Vincent of the Grenadines, should closely monitor their water resources over the coming months, since long-term drought can impact large rivers and groundwater or aquifers. aquifers. The Drought Monitoring Network says short-term drought up to the end of March is evolving across western Cuba and might possibly develop in Antigua, eastern Cuba, Guadeloupe, northern Hispaniola, southwest Puerto Rico, and St. Kitts and Nevis.
All hands are on deck when it comes to safety for all during the Carnival season. At a joint select committee meeting on Wednesday, senior officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service gave the assurance that they will be out in their numbers to protect the population.
Senior Superintendent of the Northern Division of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Cuban Francis, told the Joint Select Committee on National Security one way to increase the number of officers on duty is by calling those on leave back out to work.
We have also called out police officers who are on leave. They have been served with notices and they have been mandated and instructed to report for duty at the police headquarters this week, and then they will be dispatched to augment the strength not only in Port of Spain Division but across the other 9 police divisions.
As it pertains to crime outside of the Carnival season, Acting DCP Intelligence and Investigations Kurt Simon said the strategies to treat with crime are all in the short, medium and long term.
It only goes well with what the Commissioner has described to me as how she sees the police service being able to respond. She sees the service as being a service that is professional, a service that is agile. Agile meaning that we can anticipate and put together strategies in place for future, but a service that is also adaptable.
The JSC on national security was initially carded to conduct an inquiry into the anti-crime strategies implemented by the TTPS with the Commissioner of Police, Ella Christopher, but she was unable to attend due to issues that are urgent and critical to national security. Members of the JSC expressed disappointment by the absence of the Commissioner. The JSC will next meet with the TTPS on February 27, 2023. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas released a commemorative coin in celebration of the country's 50th anniversary of independence. Megan Shepherd has a story.
Coin collectors now have another beautifully minted coin to add to their collections. This one, the $50 silver-proof lignum vitae coin, in commemoration of the country's 50th anniversary of independence. Governor of the Central Bank of the Bahamas, John Rowe.
The reverse side of this coin showcases the beautiful flora of the Bahamas. In this case, the purple 5-petal flower of our national tree, the lignum vitae, and on the obverse side of the coin, as is tradition, the coat of arms.
Roll says, as is tradition, the silver minted coins will be available in limited quantities, just under 1,000 to be exact.
We usually mint, in a case like this, maybe 1,000 coins, and so it is a collector's item, and it's intended to be a limited supply. So you can go to any of the local coin dealers or the commercial banks, and they would usually have them, or they can arrange to get them for whoever is interested.
And as it relates to price, Roll notes that the coin will cost more than its $50 face value, but less than $200. Gold coins will also be minted.
The bank is going to introduce at least 2 other collector's coin close to the date of independence. Those will be gold coins, and they're going to showcase other aspects of the history and culture of the Bahamas.
The silver coin will be available to the general public on February 10th.
Last month, U.S. President Joe Biden announced strict measures against migrants entering the United States illegally. It coincides with a rise in migrants entering the U.S. from Cuba, where thousands desperate to leave the island have been making the dangerous trip to Florida in rickety vessels.
Cubans are leaving the country in record numbers. Last year, more than 250,000 fled Cuba, hoping to get to the United States. And while most leave by plane, many others try their luck at sea. Joan Cruz is one of them. After spending months building a boat, last month he left with a group of friends, his 2 children, and the family dog. But he was intercepted by the US Coast Guard and sent back. Cruz said he wanted to leave Cuba because of the economic problems. not for political reasons.
The economy has never been good here, but since the pandemic, things have gotten 3 times worse.
He's also critical of the United States for its sanctions against the island nation. Juan and his family departed from the town of Baracoa, a place where more than 1,000 other Cubans have tried to leave. Roger Garcia has tried to make it to the US 11 times by sea. He has a tattoo for every failed attempt.
My motor has broken down before, and I've spent days in the high seas with a bottle of water to share between 8 people. I have seen friends of mine die.
It's genuinely hard to find people under 40 in this town who say they don't want to leave. Right now, people are secretly making boats in their houses and in the nearby woods. Over the last 12 months, hundreds of rickety vessels have departed from these shores. So many that locals have given their town a nickname, Terminal 3. The Biden administration recently unveiled a shift in migration policy that would allow up to 30,000 migrants per month from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua and Venezuela to enter the US and be able to work legally for up to 2 years. The US Embassy in Havana is once again processing immigrant visas after being shuttered for 5 years. But along with the carrot, there's stick. In order to qualify for the program, migrants must apply in their home countries and pass a background check. But that won't stop those unable to get a visa from trying to get there.
What's my plan right now? As soon as I get the chance, I'm leaving.
Plenty more people in this town are equally determined to keep making the perilous voyage. Ed Augustin, Al Jazeera, Baracoa, Cuba.
And further overseas, tens of thousands of people across Turkey and Syria are now homeless after this week's devastating earthquakes. Al Jazeera's Stephanie Decker was at an aid center, southern Turkey, where people are taking refuge.
We are in, it's an exhibition center, and if you take a look, it is packed with people, children, families, sleeping wherever they can. There are 3 halls here. It is packed. They are telling us that there is enough aid, you're asking me. There are deliveries of water, bread. Further down, we can't really show you because of the light contrast. Boots are being handed out, and there is a queue of people, so it does stretch all around to the other side, but it is very difficult. It becomes very cold at night. I'm going to bring in Nihat, who is from Gaziantep. He has been here for the last 3 days. Nihat, thank you for talking to us. Tell us a little bit about what it is like for you here.
Yeah, but, it's kind of difficult to everyone. First of all, I thank you, the channel Al Jazeera English, to show how desperate people here. We lost our homes, we lost our neighbors, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
This is the reality. It's going to be very difficult moving forward because a lot of homes have been destroyed. If they haven't been destroyed, the infrastructure is broken. There's danger of many buildings collapsing. So, we're now focusing on the rescue and recovery efforts, but this is what the long-term problem is. Tens and tens and tens of thousands of people homeless. They're going to need shelter. They're going to need food and water. And we're just giving you a very small snapshot here in Gaziantep. And of course, this is something that's a reality all across the region.
In sports, West Indies had to settle for a draw against Zimbabwe in the opening test of their Deafabet series in Bulawayo. Joel Rain reports.
Resuming at the overnight score of 21 without loss, the tourists declared on 203 for 5, with Raymond Reefer and Jermaine Blackwood hitting half-centuries. The duo featured in a third-wicket stand of 107, with Reefer striking 58 of 106 with 9 boundaries, and Blackwood slamming 57 of 84 with 5 fours and 1 6. Left-arm spinner Wellington Masakadza picked up 3 for 71 in 23 overs. Set 272 for victory, Zimbabwe went to tea on 1 without loss before reaching 136 for 6 of 54 overs to force a draw. Left-arm spinner Gudakesh Moti bagged 4 for 50 in 24. West Indies 447 for 6 and 203 for 5. Zimbabwe 379 for 9 and 134 for 6. The second and final test will bowl off on Sunday. Joel Rain, ABS Sports.
And that's the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.